Hi, Democrats. Today is Friday, April 9th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. So it's been a long week, right? There's been a lot of craziness, a little bit of racism thrown in. It's just been an insane week. So I'm going to wrap it up by talking about positive things, right? Today is a positive day. I talk about bills, elected, and elections, right? So I'm going to talk about the infrastructure bill because I view that as a largely positive thing. There's a lot of talk about what is infrastructure. So included in the infrastructure bill are, and this one's kind of interesting, and this is what made me to pick this for our topic for today, is building our broadband network. And there are a lot of people on the national stage who are saying that that's not infrastructure. They don't live in Oklahoma. They don't know how important broadband is to how we do things. And with the pandemic and a lot of folks having to move their work home. And yes, we are almost out of this and we're almost able to move about the cabin safely. But the reality is a lot of companies kind of enjoy getting rid of their brick and mortar and will leave people working from home. They need broadband. They need broadband. That is infrastructure. That's what it takes for people to be able to continue to work. That's what it takes for people to be able to have a choice of whether or not their children are going to continue with online education, or if they're going to go back in the classroom, or if they're going to do a hybrid. Without broadband in some of our communities, they don't have that choice. And so that's what inspired today's conversation. Infrastructure is more than just roads and bridges, although this bill does include some work on roads and bridges, but it also is upgrading our ports and airports and our transit system. Biden said something really interesting when he rolled this out, and he said, trains didn't used to be a part of our infrastructure until we laid tracks. That's kind of how I feel about broadband. Literally 30 years ago, broadband wasn't even a fantasy, but now it's become really a core to what we do. And for those of you who are involved in the party and know that we've been doing all of these electronic conventions, know how important broadband is, because we're all having to make sure that we are making concessions so that our neighbors who don't have access to consistent internet are able to participate. It is incredibly important. There are a lot of critical infrastructure things that they're going to attack, like creating jobs by electrifying vehicles, rebuilding our clean drinking water system, maximizing the resilience of land and water resources. That typically, when it doesn't work, the folks who get the short end of the stick are our marginalized communities. And so all of these things are infrastructure. There's all this talk about he's spending all this money and it has nothing to do with infrastructure. And one of our congressional members, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm going to stay positive, but one of our congressional members, the eastern part of the state, said that broadband wasn't part of infrastructure. And I know that there are parts of the eastern part of the state who do not have reliable broadband. He's completely out of touch and it's gross. All right, so I'm going to move on. Good news in our local legislature. There were some problematic bills that aren't getting traction, and they were authored by Republicans, and they were killed by Republicans. So good news. So the cutting the corporate tax, it's not going to happen so far, which is good news, right? Because how are we going to fund all the things that we need to fund? Governor Stitt's attempt at privatizing Medicaid, pretty sure that's going to be shot down as well. And there was a bill that says if a lower income student went to college on Oklahoma's promise and didn't finish, they were going to have to pay it back. That isn't going to happen either. So I guess I need to name the folks. Greg Treat, Marcus McIntyre, and Adam Pugh have all stepped up and saved us from those disastrous bills. They are Republicans. And I said I was going to talk about positive things today. And so I'm talking about positive things that Republicans in our legislature are doing right now. Hi, Wayne. Hi, Melissa. Glad you joined. Then I'm going to talk about elections. We have any propositions that are going to be held in counties. The elections are on May 11th. And I'm not sure if you're going to have an election or not. Still not too late to sign up for your vote by mail ballot. Gone over to the Oklahoma State Election Board, sign up for your vote by mail ballot, so that ballot, because with propositions, we usually have to do some research. So go ahead and have it sent to your house so you can print it out, do your research, call some people, look up some stuff. The deadline for registration for that election is, I think it's May 4th. Nope, that's the deadline for registering your absentee ballot. I don't know what the deadline for registration. So go ahead and register now and get everybody you know registered. And it's real easy to register if you go out to okdemocrats.org /register. You can register online, fill out all the information. You'll be sent a completed voters registration form. You mark your affiliation, mark Democrat. Mark your affiliation, sign your name, put it back in the self-addressed stamped envelope, and they will send you your voter's registration card. Get that done now. Anybody you know who isn't, who is eligible to vote, who isn't, let's get them registered so that their voice can be heard. Elections, party reorganization. As I talked about yesterday, let's call it halfway there. We've already done precinct elections. We've already done county elections. So our precinct officers have been selected. Our county officers have been selected. And next up are district officers. There are 5 chairs, 5 vice chairs, 5 secretaries that need to be, and some affirmative action officers that need to be elected. And that convention is on May 1st. And I say that convention. Those 5 conventions will all be on May 1st. Some of them will start at 10. Some of them will start at 2. Go out to our website and find out which one. And then state convention, which is on June 12th. We will have an education plenary sessions for education on June 11th, but the convention where we elect our new leadership and develop our platform is on June 12th. But there are some other conventions that come up before then. Tomorrow, April 10th, the Women's Federation starts at 10 a.m. in the morning. Go out to, they have a website. Go out to their website, go out to our website, see how you can participate in that. It starts at 10 a.m. And then the African American Federation Convention is also tomorrow. It starts at 2 p.m. There are links all over the place. Go out to our website, figure out how you can be involved there. The keynote speaker for the African American Federation Convention is the chairwoman of the Michigan Democratic Party, Lavora Barnes. There was a lot of happenings going on in Michigan in the November elections. She was right there in the middle of it. It'll be great to hear her take on it. So that's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. There are links all over Facebook and the website of how you can participate there. The Young Dems of Oklahoma, their convention is next Saturday. And I'm sorry, I don't know what time. Go out to our website. It'll tell you what time. It's next Saturday, and I haven't heard who their keynote is. And then Campaign Academy is also on the 17th. Campaign Academy is for those people who are planning to run for office, and not necessarily this cycle, but if you're planning to run for office, you like to get some tools to become a campaign professional, or you just want to be a super volunteer. We all need super volunteers. I started out as a super volunteer. Campaign Academy is on 4/17. That is next Saturday. It's not too late to register. Go out, register. We have a discounted rate for Young Dems. So go out and sign up for Campaign Academy on April 17th. So there are tons of ways to get involved, and there's a lot of work that needs to happen so that we're ready for midterm elections in 2022. Thank you so very much for joining me, and you guys have a great weekend, and I'll be back Monday at 4:15.